The 1987 preliminary final, which I played in. And,
yeah, I remember that game.
The wind was very, very swirly, and it's a very difficult ground to play when it's windy like that, especially for guys like Stewie Lowe and Peter Mann that rely so much on their marking power, and also Peter Everett. So, again, it'll be very important when the ball does hit the ground, because Fremantle have got a very, very fast side, and so it'll be interesting to see. I'm sure it'll be a very close game.
I don't think we'll be getting any change in the wind, though, at least according to the forecast. The change wasn't even mentioned.
That's the interchange there from Fremantle. There's Anthony Jones with his back to us. Craig Burrows, the player in the middle, for his first game for the year in the senior side, and Winston Abraham.
Well, the Dockers, importantly for them, have won the toss. It'll be interesting to see if Stan Elves plays an extra man in defence, and that may be just the case. I can't see anybody on Justin Peckett at the moment.
Here we have
Vidovic Keogh
and also Jason Cripps.
Yep.
There's Justin Peckett. No one on him just at this stage. And McLaren also a loose man down there at the moment.
McGovern's loose for Freo in their back line.
They'll come through.
Yep.
First quarter from Waverley. A very windy Waverley. A gale warning is current in Melbourne. The battle of the two spiders. But it's Burke up towards half forward. That could be a free kick to Winmar. Saints fans certainly thought so. Everett went through very solidly. The umpire is going to ball it up just about 15 metres on the attacking side of centre for St Kilda. Their reserves were comprehensively flogged today by the Western Bulldogs, and that's the forecast. So wind, the order of the day. Spiders kick up towards half forward. That's Spider Burton. McLaren, not McLaren, it's coming down to Lappin. Lappin's kick up towards centre field. Kick it. Dockers go forward through Callahan. Daniels and Waterhouse. The latter keeps the ball in play, taken over the line by Shanahan. No free kick for that. The umpire says throw it in the Dockers' left forward pocket.
Yeah, Pete, you called Daniels on Waterhouse. He's going to be very, very difficult to match for St Kilda, because Waterhouse is coming off 4 goals from last week and a very quick half forward as a throw. Spider Everett gets the tap down. Matty Lappin can't pick it up. We've got Jess Sinclair. Now Zilla to Peckett, who's under a lot of pressure, forced to run across the face of goal, has plenty of time and poised to do so. Does it well, under pressure now. Gives the ball to Gray, close to the line. The wind holds it up but pushes it over the line, out of bounds on the full, and will be a free kick to the Dockers. On the right half forward, Greg Harding will take the kick. Neil Elvis Winmar on the mark. The Harding kick travels a good 50 metres with that breeze. Shanahan the punch. Peckett caught. Off the ground now. Nathan Burke. 15-1 for the Brownlow so far in the latest betting. So he bambled over the line, right half forward for the Dockers. About 55 metres around from their goal. We've got no score. Very strong breeze blowing the end of the Dockers. So maybe a 4 or 5 goal breeze, Ross? What do you?
Yeah, I'd say so too, Russell. Yeah, to make sure that they get full value from it.
So no clear winner there. Callahan forced to handball widely, straight to Gray, right foot. Winmar in front. That's the place to be when you're kicking against the breeze. Stay in front of your opponent, because the ball will drop as a 50-metre penalty is awarded to Nicky Winmar. And the Winmar family, who should be watching in Pingelly in Perth, Merrill and Neil Senior.
Yeah, took the mark, and then well, Spider Burton really just held his ground. Nicky did pretty well to get that 50.
Yeah, a bit soft. But St Kilda aren't going to complain. So Winmar's kick straight to Burton, deep in defence in front of Spider Everett. Plays on quickly, going wide. Get the loose McGovern. Plenty of time to pick it up and look for an option. Running around Shane Wakeland. One bounce. Good shepherding from there from Durkay, coming back from centre wing. And this is all too easy for the Dockers so far. They're running through the midfield.
And Kingsley Hunter tracks it across the boundary line. No score. And the news is from Waverley that the Dockers have won the toss. 17.5 minutes left in the first quarter. It's about a 6-goal wind, or a gale if you prefer. Michael Brown, number 18. 21 for the Saints is Gray, who kicks towards centre wing. Bouncing ball. Going to see Helian kick it over the line, which it does. And still No score in the first quarter.
But that breeze is so strong. I've never seen the goalpost move as much. It's blowing the goalposts around quite markedly, which is very unusual. It just gives you the strength of that breeze.
We have the two spiders, Everett and Burton. One by the latter, albeit not very far. Taken over the line. No, it's still in. Gale's got it. Only for a moment. Now the boundary umpire will throw it in. Virtually against the breeze. As I said, it's blowing to that left forward pocket. But very difficult conditions. Same ruckman. Everett wins that one. Brown over his shoulder. Still Everett. Peckett goes in solidly. Picked up by Brown eventually. And McGovern takes the safe mark at left centre wing. So you want to try to kick it long, which he does, probably not to the attacking pocket. And the ball bounces over the line. Very difficult conditions for players. Probably will see a lot of errors. Do you think it'll be a high-scoring affair, Ross?
Well, you think the side that's kicking to the right of screen, which is free at the moment, would get value out of that, but we just saw that kick from Andrew McGovern, who's a very accurate kick, just carry very much to the left and go out of bounds, so very difficult for players, no question.
Yeah, it's not always the case that it's conducive to good football, even when you're kicking with the breeze, because the players, the pack will form probably 50 metres away, and the ball may carry 5 metres over their head, so it'll probably take a good 15 or 20 minutes for these both sides to take advantage, I suppose, of the conditions, if any side is going to, and get used to it. So there's Rob Harvey, who formed at 3-1 favourite for the Brownlow, along with Nathan Buckley for Collingwood. With a good punch from Everett. Tony Brown off the ground. Now the running Harvey overruns it for Thompson. Sinclair on the left boot. Shoots it back into the 50, but there's a free kick against Waterhouse. Good work from Jason Daniels, playing in front. And he was harassed by Waterhouse then, illegally. So they choose to play right across the face of goal. Matty Lappin looking for options, dancing around opponents. Eventually gets his kick, kicks it high, holds up in the breeze. Winmar can't mark. Good work from Gale. Burke now to kick it. Now to Spider Burton. Long kick, out of bounds on the full. Carries a good additional 10 metres with the breeze. So Jamie Shanahan will take that free kick. So it's not really good footy, Ross.
No, in that situation, Spider really should just drop that in a bit shorter, but he was trying to go for distance to the square.
Oh, geez. So the Shanahan kick, he's given it too much air, and the wind has just caught it and just drifted it across the line. So I think the guys have got to realise that they've got to kick the ball close to their feet. When they do kick it, drop it close to your leg, but also keep it low. Keep it low to the ground. And the resultant free kick, Kingsley Hunter will have a shot for goal. So he's got to kick it very much far to the left, and the wind will bring it right in, as we can see there. So it's an excellent judge kick, very much like a golf shot, and a great mark from Quentin Leach.
It's a terrific mark. He's one of those players, Russell, to come back into the side, and a bit of a problem with the groin as he plays on.
Round the corner, should be their first goal. I think it might have
He's got
true. It's the first major for the Dockers.
It's a very good play by Quentin Leach, because that kick from Hunter was intelligent to the front of the square, and the breeze just drifted it in. It almost went through for a score, but Leach just overhead, very strong, deceptively good in the air for a player of his size. We just watched this, just sits at the back of the pack. That's a good catch, and it's a very good kick to judge the breeze from that situation. So terrific finish.
Battle of the Saints and Dockers, and the Dockers getting first blood. Great snap by Quentin Leach. 15 and a half minutes left in the first quarter. Big jump by Everett. Callahan. Burton off the ground. Sockers towards half forward. That's as far as it's going. Saints are plenty. And picked up by Darryl Wakeland. His kick up towards half forward. Not further forward by Harding. Now Winmar. And the Dockers bring it towards the member stand flank. That's out of bounds. They lead by 1 goal.
Good play there, Pete, by James Clement, just to use his pace to get in front of Winmar and just clear that ball out of the danger area.
He goes back to half-back, towards the other side of the ground. Pick up his opponent at the moment. That's Everett. Burton, who's been good so far from low. A little bit of aerial ping-pong. Winmar. Harding goes in. And it will be a ball up left half forward for the Saints. That's about as far forward as they've got so far. And the 37 for the Dockers is Mark Gale. Burton and Lowe. Lowe with strength. Kick it over the top. Now that might be a throw. It's a free kick going to St Kilda, I believe. Yes, it is. Stewie Lowe's going to be the recipient. I didn't see the umpire's signal, but I think that's what it might have been for. Well, this might give us an indication as the strength of the wind, but he doesn't go long. He gets it over to Burke. Burke from 50. Gee, not a bad kick.
Yeah.
Oh, Everett, a good mark. Kicked 37 goals this year. A ruckman forward, and that was a strong grab.
It was a good kick too by Nathan Burke, and clever play by Stuart Lowe to give it off to his co-skipper. Stewie Lowe's one of those players that might have trouble with his kicking in these conditions because he drops the ball awkwardly.
Everett, distance won't be a problem. The wind and accuracy may be. Oh, that is a Barry Crocker.
It's gone backwards.
It did. Virtually went backward. Parker in trouble. Ball, says the crowd, picked up by Heatley. Snapshot won't quite make the distance. The Saints through Wakeland defending desperately.
Oh, nice one.
And Dockers player down. Callahan, a little give. And the Dockers are going to come away through Kickett. He gets it up towards right centre wing. A kick to half forward. Courage shown down there by Waterhouse. And picked up for the Saints by Gray. Goes for the boundary line. Won't quite find it. Backing back Daniels. Kicks across his body to a contest on centre wing. Healy, you would reckon just about the mark. The umpire didn't pay it. And the ball was taken over the line finally by Gavin Mitchell for throw-in on centre wing.
Mark Gale was hip and shouldered with a ripper shepherd by Stewie Lowe, so he's okay now, but Stewie Lowe is a big boy. All 100 and, I think about 110 kilos. There's Everett in front, gets the tap down to Peter Mann, this time sharked by Tony Brown. Throws it on the boot, Clement can't mark. Now Madigan. Spent a lot of time in the Perth, I suppose, what's it called, Ross? The Perth rules?
West Star rules.
West Star rules. And they're getting his chance with the Dockers. Winmar off to Heatley from 60 metres, drills it low. Brown on the burst, tries to spin out of a pack, caught beautifully. Now Thompson runs into trouble. Shane Wakeland trying to keep the ball moving inside the 50 for the Saints. Kick it, clever work, taps it on. Nathan Burke now, head down, and the whistle is blown. He was harassed, caught too high. Free kick will go to Nathan Burke directly in front. So if he can learn from that Spider Everett debacle, the Everett kick went sideways. I think he was probably 10 or 15 metres out from goal. It may have gone backwards, went off the side of his boot. The wind is very, very strong, blowing from left to right. So Burke will kick from about 45 metres. Ball will hold up. No, it'll go wide. And one behind. First score for the Saints. Dockers have already one goal on the board thanks to Quentin Leach. A good mark close to the line.
I remember a kick rustled by the great Peter Hudson down at Moorabbin years ago. It went through for a goal. Came back out. Amazed the crowd. I think a mark was taken in the pocket by a St Kilda player. When the goal umpire indicated a goal, they went wild.
I remember that. I saw that it was on one of those footy flashbacks on Channel 7.
Incredible kick.
Just a slight hold up here too, not only while the ball's coming back, but there's a player being sent off for the blood rule.
Daniel Healy.
Yep.
And Jason Cripps coming on for him, so a bit of blood in his mouth. The vampire. So Cripps will come in. So the umpire will blow time off, allowing Andrew McGovern to kick out from goal from the Nathan Burke point. So Dockers one goal to the Saints one behind. There's 12 minutes remaining in the first term as McGovern's kick, it's a long one as you can see with the breeze, about 65, 70 metres. Now Thompson, quick kick into the forward line, but the man in front is Callahan. You've got to get in front against the breeze. And Callahan did just that. 50-metre penalty for Shane Wakeland encroaching over the mark. So the umpires are pretty tough on it. Scott McLaren, number 11.
We saw that last night, a 50-metre penalty with the player not able to get back onto the mark quickly enough, and the umpire very quick to penalise him.
If that's an instruction this week, so don't take any lip from the players. Do as you're told or you pay the penalty. So Callahan's kick over the top of the pack. The Gray in front. He's had a bit of the ball in the defence for the Saints.
Free kick, Russell. There's been a holding decision given, and Kingsley Hunter looks like he'll get the free kick.
So it might have been against Shanahan. We might be able to have another look at that, but Hunter will shoot for the Dockers second. 45-metre angle, kick from 45. won't have a problem with the distance. So Hunter. He's already got 27 goals for the season for the Dockers full forward. His 28th game in his career. Kick looks pretty good. It's the Dockers' second.
That's a great kick, Russell, because that's, as we've said before, the breeze so very strong. He had to be very careful the way he put that on his boot and allowed for it beautifully. And we'll see this infringement again. Hunter goes in and Gray comes from behind and pulls his jumper and just throws him to the ground. So that's what the free kick is for.
It's a bit undisciplined, isn't it, Ross?
Yeah,
like,
very much so.
Wasn't even near the ball.
Yep. Spider Burton off, and Craig Burrows comes on into the ruck for the first run for this year in the seniors.
Yes, Burrows replacing Burton. Fremantle leading by 11 points. Kingsley Hunter with that goal. Quentin Leach kicked there first. And there's Burrows doing the ruck work. Oh, Sinclair got shirt fronted. Thompson also went down. The kick comes up towards half forward. That's for St Kilda. McGovern out wide. Callaghan will be able to get onto his left foot from there quite well. Intended for Mann. Sinclair, former Eastern Rangers lad. He goes backwards, gives it to Tony Brown, nearly man over the top. I think it's a St Kilda mark, it will be. One of the informed youngsters for the Saints this year, and he gives it to another one in Aussie Jones. Aussie Jones at right half back. Mongrel punt intended for Harvey, and he did well to mark that. Burke runs behind him. Both players you'd reckon will pole well in the Brownlow. Heatley, good attempt to mark. Parker, McGovern likes to run with the football, certainly has so far in this quarter. Kicks to kick it over the head of Cripps. Leach, one-on-one duel. Wills at the back, good use of the body, knew the ball was going long. Shanahan, a little give. Silla. That's a free kick. That's a holding decision going the Dockers' way.
I had to give that because he would have marked it and run off.
Gavin Mitchell at right half forward. Even with the breeze too far out to score, and that's a good mark. Taken by Harry Durko, is it down there?
Winston Abraham, Pete.
Winston Abraham.
Yep.
This is going to be the tricky one. The wind and the angle. Dockers for their third. St Kilda make a change in the meantime. Keogh is coming on.
He was in good form last week, Pete, to Winston Abraham at the wake-up last Saturday night.
I have seen him miss some sitters from close in, though. Let's see what he does here. I think he may have missed that one. He has. One behind. Kick by our Winston. Dockers' first blemish on the scoreboard. 2-1 to 1 behind, halfway through the first quarter. Which Wakeman's that?
Not too sure. We're going to find out which one's still on the ground to work out whether it's Shane or Darryl.
I think it might be Darryl, is it?
No, in fact, it's Shane. Sorry, Pete.
It was a good guess. Maybe it wasn't a good guess. Brown gives it over to Abraham again. Similar spot.
Yeah, Darryl's still out there picking up Peter Mann, and this gives him a chance to atone.
So he needs to aim for the right goalpost. For the Dockers' third. 30 metres out. Same blemish. Winston. So he's kicked two behind. 2-2 to 1 behind. 9 minutes left in the term.
Abraham kicked 3 goals against the Tigers last week. An excellent performance. Waterhouse had 4 off the half forward. The Dockers midfield, a lot of speed and athleticism last week. It's too good for the Richmond side. As Packett's kick punched clear by Mann, but the running Jones, excellent work. May steal a few Brownlow votes off Rob Harvey. They look alike. They're a similar type of player. Just dynamic stuff as Cripps takes the mark in front of his opponent on the centre wing position. Short chip to Burke. Not gaining much distance towards goal, but opening him up, albeit being about 100 metres away. Burke he ran too close to the man on the mark and was forced into a poor kick. Had to kick it too high over the man on the mark, forcing the ball to hold up and out of bounds. So
don't forget talking footy on the road this week from Adelaide, and appropriately Malcolm Blight, our special guest.
Throw in on centre wing. Stewie Lowe against Madigan. Takes it out of the air, throws it on the boot, gets a quick kick. Jones is bamboozled by the wind, so is Keogh, on for his first run for the year. Burke, clever, to Brown. Quick kick along the ground, that's the way it should work. Now Heatley under pressure. Good work from Parker. Harvey keeps the ball in well. Now back to Keogh, rocket rod. Shoots it low. That's the kick that the Saints are looking for against the breeze. Straight to the full forward, Jason Heatley. Low and short.
Well, again, kicking to this breeze, we saw Nathan Burke before, and he had a deliberate shot at goal from straight in front. The ball went very much to his right. That's the perfect kick with this sort of breeze. Just keep the trajectory low.
So Jason Heatley, an excellent player for St Kilda so far this year. Looking for his 50th goal in his 18th game. And I think it looks pretty good from the sound of the Saints supporters. It is. Excellent kick under these conditions. Considering the strength of the breeze, being a 5 or 6 goal breeze, they're in a pretty good position, only trailing by 1 goal.
Yeah, so once he took the mark, he threw a piece of dirt up in the air just to try and get a bit of a gauge on which way the breeze was going, and then in doing so went basically to himself, well, I really don't know which way to kick this, so he just aimed straight for the middle of the goals, and it just seemed to sit up well enough. As you can see, the shadow on the post, great kick.
Any goal against the breeze today is a good one. Heatley's first, his 50th for the season. Burrows against Everett. Everett goes again. Harding tries to crash his way through. Burrows off a step to half forward. Waterhouse a chance if it sits nicely for him. Good shepherd from Wills. Around Lappin. Still he goes. Waterhouse back to Wills. Good tackle, Daniels. Holding the footy, says the crowd. And the ball taken over the line for the Saints by Stephen Ziver. 14 plays 7 at Waverley. Windy Waverley with a gale warning out for the Bows.
Just got him.
Good tackle from Jason Daniels. The throw in. Dockers love another couple of goals before quarter time. Abraham tries to paddle it forward. Mitchell gets confronted, gets taken high. Peckett, Harvey. Spiral punt kick by Harvey. That's a beauty. A bouncing ball gets to centre wing. Burrows, quite mobile. Takes on a couple of opponents, kicks towards, well, goes inboard. McGovern. Heatley, great tackle by the full forward. Nothing for it. They continue. Do they wrestle? Heatley decides to get up in a wise move.
They actually gained ground there from that Rob Harvey kick. Free kick. Darren Goldsmith's found one in the pack.
Leach coming off. Gale coming back on. Harding's going to take the free kick.
Why wasn't that holding the ball? That's an excellent tackle. Wrapped up.
Harding at right centre wing for the Dockers. Punch away by Everett. Sinclair punches it further forward. On the end of it is Brown. Callahan gives chase. Tony Brown. Good run. Kick standing up into the breeze. Kick it. Cripps. Kick it. Gets a nice bounce. Looking for someone to give it to. Kicks over the head of Keogh. And the mark. Taken at centre field by Madigan. Madigan decides to play on and gets it back to this fellow Burrows, who's been busy.
Burrows shoots it in forward, but excellent judgment by Jamie Shanahan on the last line of defence. It's a tough breeze to judge in front of Kingsley Hunter. His kick across goals to Matty Lappin, trying to do a bit too much, dancing around opponents in these conditions. Find your option and execute the kick or handball. As Andrew Thompson under pressure, has taken over the boundary line.
Yeah, that was a good mark by Jamie Shanahan, because previous kick coming to the forward line have carried both players in Shanahan and Hunter. So Hunter, thinking that that ball might carry further, was deceived. Terrific mark by Shanahan.
Just over 5 minutes remaining. Tony Brown takes the ruck, gets the hit out. Now it's Callahan, centre of the ground, opening it up for McGovern. Dragged down by Keogh. His kick from Lappin in front. Eyes on the ball. Brings the ball to ground. One bounce. Straight off to Keogh. Followed his opponent down the field. Now kicking wide. allowing Durkay. Now Thompson had got a kind bounce close to the boundary line. Dances around one opponent in Madigan. Good work from the young lad Thompson. Now off to Brown to Zilla. In go the Saints inside 50. Stewie Lowe from behind can't mark. Clement, the better judgment. Now Winmark, clever. Off to Lowe. Caught by Callahan. Great tackle by the Rover. And the Dockers wrap it up.
It's a great tackle by Craig Callahan. It's one of those players for his size. He's not intimidated by anyone. You see the size difference between he and Stewie Lowe there. Great tackle.
Matty Young's our man on the boundary. Matty, are you enjoying the wind?
Yes, it's very windy down here at the moment. I think that at the moment we've held Fremantle pretty well considering the conditions.
You think the boys will be pretty happy?
I think so. At quarter time, if we can just hold on for another five more minutes, then we'll be very happy.
That's about all there is. In fact, a little bit less. The Dockers try to pinch it here through Kickett. He runs into a brick wall. Oh, speaking of pinching things, Winmar! Great goal! Making something out of nothing, Nicky Winmar, and the Saints now trail by just 1 point, so definitely their quarter with 4 minutes to go.
Yes, Doug Kickett just trying to get through the traffic there. Normally very, very good at getting out of those tight situations. We just see this again, the ball comes out towards him, he just tries to get through, and then Nicky just steals that ball away. The deft little tap over the top of Shane Parker. Well played.
So excellent work from the Saints. Only trailing by a point with that Winmar goal, especially under these conditions with a strong wind. So the two Spiders are at it. Spider Burton was the clear winner there, pushing the ball a good 5 or 10 metres. Harvey doing the tough stuff, and Jess Sinclair wrapping him up with a good solid tackle. So it'll be another bounce, just forward of the centre square, forward of the centre circle. Just under 4 minutes to go in this first term. Burton and Everett push forward now, allowing Peckett, clever, good option, straight to Nathan Burke. He gains valuable metres with a 10-metre run and a nice 40-metre kick. There's a free kick against the Dockers. It'll go to Stewie Lowe.
Against Clement.
Over the top of his shoulder. But the handball, Gavin Mitchell, cheeky stuff, called for the handball. He gave it straight to him. Oh, this could cost them a goal. Peter Mann over the top. Now it's Brown. But Gray punches the ball close to the line, and
free
it's
kick.
Deliberate. Umpire Goldsmith will call that deliberate ploy.
John Russo, you get a line on the angle of the knockout of bounds.
Peter, it's very difficult to get a line on the angle, but it looked about 10 or 12 metres away from the boundary line, and in these conditions it's a pretty tough call to ping a bloke for deliberate out of bounds. The umpire is obviously trying to determine whether that was his sole objective. Darren Goldsmith felt it was.
I think just from the look of it, John, it looked pretty much deliberate. He just hammered it straight towards the line, but Peter Mann opens the goals up for his forwards with a long kick. Waterhouse tries the big fly, can't mark. Daniels spins out of trouble. Now throws it on the boot and has a ping for the Fremantle goals and puts it out of bounds on the full. So he's looking for a point. But I think the Stewie Lowe incident, I think that was just showed clever work from Mitchell, but Lowe should have been on the ball. Just ignored the call.
Kingsley Hunter's got the free kick.
So Hunter lining up for his second. The Dockers third. A pretty tough angle, so runs around or kick around his body, and it's a goal. Excellent work.
It's a great kick. What's his second one, Russell, from that same situation virtually, to get around and kick it around, low trajectory. Well played. It was good sense too by Peter Mann initially to get the ball to the front of the square with his kick. And then we see Jason Daniels, as Russell said, trying to force that ball through for a point in the congestion, but inaccurate kicking. And clever play by Hunter. Well done.
Kingsley Hunter gets the goal. He's got 2. Winston Abraham's kicked 2 behinds. Quentin Leak's the other goal kicker for Fremantle. We're in the last 3 minutes of the first quarter. The Dockers by 7 points. Everett. Mitchell went without it. Good tackle down there by Mitchell. Ball tied up. And the umpire coming in to affect the bounce. That's Scott McLaren. Everett and Burton, the ladders already had a little stint on the bench this quarter. Sinclair from a standing start to half forward, or courage needed there from Lappin. Didn't take the mark, but he earned the free kick. Decides to play on. Boy from Northern Victoria. Wakeland. Kick it on Cripps. Cripps goes again. Keogh pinned by Madigan, the two number 17s. Thompson missed it. Winmar's in there. Harding applies a tackle, and the Dockers able to tie it up just outside 50 as they enjoy the lead of 7 points. And Winmar having plenty to say to the umpire and or his opponent. 3-2 to 2-1. Everett. Callahan to Clement. Clement's kick bounces and bounces again. Hunter way out from goal with Wakeland. Burke at midfield. Had to get rid of it quickly. Sinclair nearly tied up. Good tackle by Aussie Jones. The umpire says play on. Wills went without the footy. Sinclair applies a tackle again. That's on Jason Cripps. And the umpire will ball it right on the edge of the centre square.
Well, they're letting those holding the ball, holding the man rules play on, which is a good thing, I suppose. Umpire Brett Allen bounced the ball on the centre wing. Just favouring the St Kilda goal by about 5 or so metres as Everett gets it wide. Nathan Burke overruns it, kick it. Always clever with the ball. Off to Gale now through centre wing. Trying to do something and lead it up for the Dockers forwards, but good punch away from Peckett. Under pressure of the Dockers forwards and Abraham. St Kilda got the numbers, now Everett. Back to Shanahan. Looking to kick wide into space. Not many options up forward. The wind drags it back, allowing Sinclair to run it onto his left foot. Throws it on the boot, keeps it close to the boundary line, but too far. Bit of inexperience there from the young kid. Maybe should have brought it further back into the ground, into play. The wind took it over the line, out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that's going to be very difficult to judge when you've got a player running towards the boundary line, Russell, as you mentioned, to try and make that spot on.
Cripps has been very good since coming off the bench. Running through half back. 2 against 1. Aussie Jones, the clever work, looking for Zilla, runs onto it, driven into the ground, gets up quickly. Good recovery from Stephen Zilla. Mitchell, clever, caught with the ball on the siren, centre wing. As the players just have a little bit of a push and a shove, Mickey Winmar amongst them. As umpire Darren Goldsmith try to settle things down. So this wind's causing a bit of frustration, Ross, because, you know, obviously it's difficult to mark the ball, difficult to kick, and even difficult to pass the ball by hand. So a lot of frustration creeping into the plate. And Stanell's just settling his players down.
I think he'd be pretty happy with his first quarter effort.
Yep. It's always difficult, Pete, to kick goals with.
Fremantle leading by 7 points as we start the second quarter. The Saints with the wind in this term. It's a gale here at Waverley, blowing to the St Kilda left forward pocket. Burke over the shoulder, kicks towards Lowe. Punch away by Madigan. A little give to Everett. That came from Cripps. Long bomb into the goal square, and it carries it through. That's how to use the wind.
Was that a complete contrast to his other shot at goal in the first quarter, which went off the side of his boot and finished up 10 metres behind him, virtually on the other side of the ground. So great use of the ball here by Everett. Just a tap forward by Madigan, and then good assist by Cripps, and then Spider Everett just assessed that beautifully. Only Winmar in the square. That carried he and the goal umpire very easily.
Well, just 30 seconds into the quarter, and the difference is already pegged back by the Saints. It's just 1 point. Terrific goal kicked by the big Spider.
So Spider, Burton and Everett again in the centre of the ground. Even Stevens as Rob Harvey tries to drag the ball out of the air. Now it's Jason Cripps from centre half forward. It's a long kick. It may bounce favourably. It does for Fremantle. It goes out of bounds as the wind is still blowing very, very strongly. Now favouring the St Kilda side. So quick work from the Saints. Goal in the first 30 seconds. 1 point game. Stewie Lowe and Spider Burton. Lowe looking for the front position. Burton does well. Gets it across to Leach. Jones it was, rather. And then Madigan off to Burton. Good vision. Off to Madigan. On the run from the back pocket. Looks for the long kick, but again the breeze holds it up. Thompson makes a meal of it. And the Dockers just dive on the ball. It's Peter Mann, the captain. And hold it up. So it'll be a bounce in between centre wing and half forward for the St Kilda side. Umpire Darren Goldspink. the most experienced of the three umpires, of Allen and McLaren. Now it's Gale, kicks it high, and the ball goes wide. Favourable bounce, stays in play. Burton knocks it along the ground, gains 10 metres, so it'll be a throw-in. Centre wing here at the windy Waverley. Stephen Ziller playing pretty close to his opponent in Abraham. So the two Spiders again, Burton and Everett, jostling for front position. Very important under these conditions. So Burton gets front, but Everett gets the ball down to Tony Brown, who has a look around, one bounce. Bringing Robert Harvey into play now from centre wing, kicks it in long over the top of everyone, bouncing towards the goals, but it's all Fremantle. Parker getting an unkind bounce as Heatley manages to take the point post, a la Lee Matthews, although Matthews took the point post right out of the ground at Windy Hill. There we go, it just seized at the last minute, but not too bad.
So boundary throw in, right forward pocket for the Dockers, for St Kilda. Already got one goal on the board this quarter. Gee, could have been a free kick to low. Heatley snaps and just misses. One goal, one. His tally, the score is level. Number 43 is Andy McGovern. He kicks in, he's found Parker. Parker in the back pocket. Almost looked for instructions there. Wide to the outer side, Leach. Did he keep it in? I don't know that he did. He didn't, according to the boundary umpire. He was out when he kicked it.
It's an injured umpire, I think.
So the throw in pretty well close to centre wing on the outer side. The two Spiders again, one by Burton. Peckett does well, gets around man. Wakeland. A good tap on eventually. Callahan. Oh, gee, nearly a throw actually. Leach gets taken down on the tackle. Ball jarred free. Wakeland. Callahan confronted by Daniels. It's out of bounds again.
Well, I think you'd have to pay that a throw, Pete, against Callahan, as much as he did so very well to get to the football in the first place. The tackle saw him with just one arm free and trying to knock the ball on. Just watch this again. He just gets tackled by Peckett with the left arm.
Oh, did he have a fist?
Well,
on
actually, I think he may have had a fist on that. Might have saved him there.
Sinclair kicks to where St Kilda have numbers. Hunter's got 2 goals though. Paddles the ball forward, slips over at the crucial moment. Back to Wills, or it was intended for him. Thompson. Wills, still he goes, but he can't get his first kick, and it's out of bounds at the Dockers' left half forward flank. Troy Gray, number 21, had a busy first quarter in defence. Might get a little bit of a breather in the second. Former Sydney Swan. Played 51 games for Sydney. Didn't play against his old side last week, though. Burton and Everett again, having a great battle. Mitchell kicked as, dumped as he kicked. Will spins out, snaps, and he's got it. Great kick. So 2 goals, sorry Ross, 2 goals against the wind, 1 by each side so far, invaluable.
Yes, but that's Andrew Wilson's first kick, in fact, and a very valuable one. And Clive Waterhouse is off for the Dockers, and Michael Brown on. We see 2 ruckmen involved there. Gavin Mitchell did very well to get that round his boot very quickly. Gray, a pretty courageous effort to try and mark that. Unfortunately, couldn't hang on to it, and the spilt ball beautifully sharked by Andrew Wills.
Just one kick the difference, 4-2 to 3-2. I think Waterhouse went off, may have been with a hamstring, Ross, so we can check that out. If maybe John Russo can lighten us a bit further. As now Everett gives it off to Aussie Jones on that left foot. Screws it forward, top of the square, kick it. Looks like he maybe paid the mark. Yes, excellent work in front of Stewie Lowe. Chips it forward, 15 to 20 metres to Clement. There's the running kick it again. This is customary, he always takes a bounce or 2. Now to Madigan. To Gale. They're going wide to Mitchell. The Dockers are moving the ball reasonably well. Back to Gale. This is what they've got to do against the breeze. Keep possession. Keep it low as he does, but it's a poor direction, allowing Daniels in front. Good work from Jack Daniels in defence. Now punched off the ground by the St Kilda defence. Cripps has been one of St Kilda's best coming off the bench. Not a very good kick, but allows Everett now to steady. Looking for Stewie Lowe. punches it clear, but
Free kick.
held his opponent.
Yes, Anthony Jones gets the free
Will be
kick.
pinged for holding.
All right.
So McGovern runs off, changing direction, finding Jess Sinclair, who's got a paddock in front of him. Not many people to kick it to. So he decides to run back, not gaining any territory towards goal, but now Harding, a couple of bounces, keeping the ball low, looking for the leading man. Not a real good kick, but now Leach was held by Peckett, off the ground by Mitchell. Fresh air shot from Mitchell. Not a very good good quality game so far, but it's close. It's a one-goal match as Abraham finding the running Callahan. Will have a ping from 40 metres. Kick looks pretty good, but it's held up, and Jason Daniels takes the mark. Last line of defence.
It certainly was the last line of defence. Bad kick. Callahan might get another chance. This time on the left, he's got in short, and that's okay. Kingsley Hunter's marked directly in front with a chance to kick his third. Nathan Burke had a shot from a similar position in the first quarter, and it was pretty difficult.
And again, Craig Callahan with 5 and 5, proven to be very productive, not only with those stats, but his hard work in the packs and on the body.
I suppose from here you'd give him about 5 to 2 to kick this. A very, very difficult shot into the teeth of this northeasterly gale. Kicks from about 40 metres. It's not even going to make the distance. Well, that comes as no real surprise. Still in the Dockers attacking zone. Man's hand pass intended for Wills. He's missed that. Wills might get another shot at it. Shouldn't be slipping over. The ground is pretty well rock hard. He applies a tackle. St Kilda defence working overtime. Ozzie Jones's kick comes up towards the centre of the ground, and Clement judged it pretty well. Ball swirling around in the breeze. Knock away again by Jones. Uses his pace to good advantage. A miniature Harvey. Ducking and weaving. Tries to set something up, and the Saints do that. Down towards half forward. Knock away by Lappin. Heatley's there. Long way out from goal. Winmar, who's already kicked one, kept it in play. That was clever. Good tackle by Parker on Heatley. He's all tied up just inside the boundary line. As we go down to John Russo on the boundary, who has some news on Waterhouse, I believe.
Yeah, they've indicated that Clive Waterhouse is okay, but Gary Durkay and Craig Burrows just went for a warm-up run around the boundary line, and Waterhouse certainly wasn't with them, so I suggest that maybe Russell was right. Maybe there is a bit of a hamstring problem.
Yeah, I just saw him holding the top of his right thigh. Thanks, John. But now Harvey, close to the boundary line, doing the hard work as per usual. Matty Lappin held without the ball, and the umpire ignores it. That's umpire Brett Allen, who calls throw it in. Saints fans not real happy. There's the customary look on Rob Harvey as though he just run a 10-mile race. He just runs and runs and runs as Stewie Lowe caught Mitchell. Now to Harding, to running Jones. Good pressure from Keogh. To Callahan, probably the Dockers' best. Good 40-metre kick against the breeze. Gray in front of Hunter. Gets a kick, getting the Saints out of pressure and finding the boundary line. In these conditions, that's where they like it. There's Darryl Wakeland, his brother, identical twin Shane, younger brother, born on different days, worked that one out. He's on the bench.
Just about to come on too, Russell, as Spider Burton comes off and Craig Burrows back on for a change in the ruck for the Dockers.
There's Shane with Eddie Milai, the legend from Dandenong, VFA in the 70s and 80s.
Did he tell you that, did he?
Yeah, he did, actually, big head. And the 60s, that'll give away his age. Umpire Goldspink will bounce in between centre wing and half forward for the Dockers. Spider Everett, the tap, knocked back by the Dockers. It's all wrapped up again. Very strong breeze, as we've mentioned. It's produced a reasonably poor quality match, although it is close. It's one goal of difference, 26 to 20. The Dockers' favour. They've kicked 2 against the breeze. One against the breeze. So St Kilda have kicked 1 against the breeze. Dockers have kicked 1 against the breeze. There's Thompson now to Burke through the centre of the ground. Looking for forwards here in front. Heatley, good work. Now Robert Harvey forced to kick around the corner. It's one-on-one Lappin and Clement, but the ball was carried over the boundary line on the full with that enormous 5-goal breeze. So it'll be a free kick to the Dockers left back pocket.
Clement to take the free kick at that location. Lappin stands the mark. Difficult position from which to kick. Ball standing right up into the breeze, just about out of bounds, taken over by Justin Peckett. Change being made, that's Wakeland coming onto the ground. Shane Wakeland, Darrell is still there, so I've got both of them on the ground now. Burrows on the left of screen. Likewise just onto the ground, loses out to Everett. Winmar to Brown, tackled by Harding, puts him off his kick. Mitchell takes the mark at half back. Not much of Gavin Mitchell, but reading the play superbly there with the swirling breeze. McGovern, very busy. McGovern at midfield. Callaghan. Oh, he is off. Brown had him. Kick to half forward. St Kilda with the numbers down there. Peckett slung as he attempted to get rid of it. The hand pass comes out to Darrell Wakeland. Wakeland's kick up towards centre wing. They're all yorked. Now the Dockers. Clement, who takes the hand pass, paddles it back in the direction of Jones. Shepherd provided by Harding. The kick comes up to half forward. Saints with the numbers again. It was Daniels. Aussie Jones missed it. Mann, haven't seen too much of him. He's been fairly quiet. Peter Mann's kick, intended for Mitchell. Shanahan's in the road, isn't he always? Wakeland over the head of Daniels. Leach. Daniels has got him. Mitchell comes at him. Daniels again holds the ball in. The umpire will come in and ball it up. Umpire number 32, Darren Goldspink. And the ball up about 65 metres from the Dockers goal, going against the breeze as we approach the halfway mark of the second quarter. Fremantle by 6 points.
Both sides having one goal kicked in this second term. Andrew Wills, his first kick against the breeze, resulting in a goal. Is an excellent mark to Gale. Number 37 for the Dockers. Gale shoots it into the 50, looking for Abraham. Can't mark. Good pressure from Zilla. And a free kick, according to Scott McLaren, the umpire, number 11, will go to Winston Abraham. Whether it's too high or holding in that particular piece of play. So he will line up as we see it here. Well, what's happened?
Might have been high against Mann, but
It's a bit tough.
gee. I don't suppose you saw that at all, did you, John? It's a fair way from you.
No, I didn't, Peter. It's too far away. But Clive Waterhouse has just gone back onto the ground.
So he must be okay. All I can say there is perhaps it was against Everett, was it, for coming in late to not have any eyes on the footy at all.
Well, Abraham will line up. Kick from 40. Kick looks pretty good off the boot, but it's held up very close and goes wide. Just one behind to the Dockers. 4-3. It's his third behind, so he could be accused of letting the side down a little with his inaccurate kicking. 3 behinds, 2 with the wind and 1 against. As Clive Waterhouse looking okay, so we'll monitor him, see if his right leg is okay. As Winmar, one little fumble but recovers quick enough. Long kick over the top of the pack. Now to Aussie Jones, who's caught. To Rob Harvey, centre wing, to Nathan Burke. 3 excellent players so far this year for the Saints. Over the top of Keogh, straight down the throat of Harding.
Harding kicks up towards midfield. Now Mitchell. Burrows at half forward. Couldn't score from there. 2 kicks to goal at least. Tackled by Zilla. Ineffective. Ball hits the deck and so does he. It will be balled up. About 30 metres now from the Dockers goal. You can see Wakeland's here blowing in the breeze there. The mark in the second quarter, that's an interesting one. The Saints with the wind. Fremantle working the ball around, running with it. They've taken 13. The old Dockers style of play, I guess, coming to the fore here, and they're doing it well. The ball just beats Winston Abraham out of bounds. St Kilda making about 30 metres there. And don't forget league teams again as we run down to the finals. Check your local guides what time it's on air in your area. See Vidovic on the ground now contesting that. And that might be a Dockers free kick for a high tackle. It will be. And Callaghan gets up limping. Kicks into the man on the mark. He'll get another one. So 2 kicks for 1. A real up and under job. Hardy, courage needed there to take that. He read it beautifully. Bombs it long. Low, got a push in the back. And the umpire's seen it. Lappin A little give. Brown. It's collared as he kicked. And arguably the best player for the Dockers, McGovern, at half-back. Been very, very safe. Kick number 8. Up towards midfield. Vidovic missed it. Burke doesn't. Kick by Thompson. Gathered by Harding. Gather at half-back. On to kick it. Hand pass could have been a little bit better for him. Kick it. Out wide. Abraham. Low trajectory pass. Down to Waterhouse. Wakeland read it better. Gets back. Oh, he got collared. That'll be too high against Quentin Leach. He'll take the free kick short of half-back, and he goes in short and actually across the goal.
So the Wakeland kick finding Peckett. He plays on quickly. The Saints need to move it fast. They've got a 5 or 6 goal breeze, but it's very difficult to kick goals with that. And they still trail by 7 points. It's Burke's courage. Now the ball lands in the Vidovic arms. He gets a quick kick. Lappin, his cleverness. Stewie Lowe doing some rough stuff. Good work from this big Saint as Lappin's kick finding Everett, leading out from goal. It's good play for the Saints.
It's one of the few occasions I've been able to share the ball around like that and find a target going forward. Gary Durko just in a bit of pain there.
I think he ran into Everett, into Lowe. The first piece of system, there have been a lot of mistakes in these conditions. So Everett, slight angle, leans back and puts it through the middle. Well, the Saints definitely needed that one. They're 4th now, still in it, only 1 point. Only 6 minutes remaining in this half.
Yeah, well thought out here by the Saints just to make sure they got value going inside 50 here. And that's a good catch too by Peter Everett. Rick Madigan unable to get there and spoil, and then Everett worked out the angle very well. Kick towards the what would be the left goal post for us.
Peter Spider Everett, 2 goals in this quarter to make the difference now. 1 point only in favour of Fremantle. 27 plays 26 at the business end of the second quarter. Harvey, Vidovic got the punch away, just onto the ground. Kick comes up by Cripps. Oh, nearly Everett. Clement tried to go off the ground. That's a goal.
It's Lappin, Pete.
That's clever
His
work.
kick is first. And the Saints are in front.
Yeah, no question, that is clever work. And great hands by Rob Harvey in the middle of the ground just to hold the ball back. There's a little give off. Good driving kick by Cripps. Nearly a catch there to Everett, and then James Clement tries to force the ball forward, overruns it, and Lappin mops up.
Great initiative shown by Matty Lappin, the boy from Chiltern. His cousin Nigel playing for the Brisbane Lions.
Kick sort of just came off the right of his boot there, and he squeezed it in for a goal. So St Kilda in front now, 32-27.
As Craig Burrows is in the ruck against the big laser Vidovic. No clear winner. Vidovic does a bit of tunnel work there. Peckett overruns it but recovers well. Saw Nathan Burke, quick hands from Burke looking for Harvey. Stewie Lowe running out from centre forward. Poor handball, poor execution, allowing Kickett to intercept, and an excellent mark in the pack by Jamie Shanahan, much to the applause of the St Kilda supporters. Big Shanahan, long way out from full back. Big pack forms, Heatley in front, Parker amongst them. Good work from Mitchell. Burrows under the pack, Sinclair's with him, Aussie Jones. 2 youngsters, very promising youngsters. Aussie Jones, a State of Origin performer, and Jess Sinclair coming through the under-18 competition and doing very well for the Fremantle side, number 40. Playing his 8th game in his first season of football. Vidovic, the big left hand. Peckett, under a lot of pressure. Kick goes high and wide. Kickett, number 11 for the Dockers. There's plenty of time just to dance around, but got a bit lazy there with the execution. Now Durkay has a bit of time as well. Off to Abraham, has a look around, a bounce, a couple of bounces, running towards the centre of the ground. Not a lot of pressure from the St Kilda side. All too easy for Abraham to pass it into the 50-metre line. Looking for Callahan, but now Aussie Jones to Daniels. Putting Jones back under pressure. The 1-2, centre wing, Tony Brown in front. Good pressure from McGovern. Now Zilla back to Aussie Jones, the speedster, handballs it to himself, needs a kind bounce, close to the line. Quentin Leach doing beautifully well for the Dockers. It's still on, but Tony Brown keeps it alive. Desperate stuff from the Saint. midfielder. Now kicks it in. It's wide into the pocket, allowing Madigan, under pressure, will go for the boundary line.
That's deliberate.
Yeah, he's got
Umpire
it.
Goldsby calls that. Exactly the same as Troy Gray's in the first term, so a good decision from Goldsby. He's consistent.
I think Greg Madigan actually trying to go along the boundary line. It's just too obvious there. He just got the ball out over the line in the first instance. If he had to run along the ground, he would have got the benefit of the doubt, I would have thought.
So Rob Harvey needs to judge this win to perfection to put this through. Gives it plenty of space. The wind just not taking it in far enough. Now Everett, if he can dance around Madigan onto the left boot. Good pressure from Madigan, but a great kick from Everett.
Number 3.
His third, all in this term. Oh. Jared Neesham just pondering what if that ball had been punched through, maybe for a behind, as defenders usually do.
It was a good
set
kick,
up
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was by Harvey Pete, there's no question, just to get Everett and Heatley a bit of a chance there, but you're right, in that situation, always try and get the ball over the line and concede the point rather than give them an opportunity to have another score or a shot at goal, which is what happened.
Lazar Vidovic in the ruck for the Saints. Gets the run at it and wins it. Peckett, the back pocket player. Peckett's kick to half forward. Heatley, good punch away by Parker. Lappin to Lowe, who's collared, nearly threw it out. Gale a chance if he can go in and pick it up. Lappin again. Good tackle by Harding, flipped out the front of the pack. Callaghan went without it. 2 Dockers fighting. Sinclair's in there, and the umpire will ball it up. The Saints finishing the second quarter better than they started it. We've got over 3 minutes to go, and they lead by 11 points. Vidovic with Mann. Now the latter spirals it to the outer side. It'll bounce out of bounds, you'd reckon, from there. Cripps gets there, keeps it in play. Aussie Jones, that's out of bounds. Was it on the full? I think so. Yes, it was.
Oh.
Now, who kicked it out of bounds on the full? Boundary umpire has to tell the field umpire.
It's against the Dockers. Pete. Came off Mitchell.
Gee,
Oh,
that's a tough call.
Yeah.
Good call.
Clement paddles it in front of him, or attempts to do just that. Got it underneath him, has to get it out. Umpire will ball it up just about at midfield. 2.5 minutes remaining before half-time. Saints served well in this quarter by Peter Everett with 3 goals. Docker's last goal early in the term against the Breeze, or against the Gale. Vidovic again against Mann. Peckett takes it at half forward, kicks short to Lowe, who can just about dob it from there.
Yeah, you should at least have a shot, Peter.
Crowd yelling to kick a torp.
I don't think so, Pete.
John Russo, you have something for us on the boundary.
Kingsley Hunter's just come off favouring his left knee, so Fremantle Dockers are without their season's leading goal kicker.
And that's not good news for them as they try to edge towards the 8. Out at the moment on percentage. St Kilda leading by 11 points. Stewie Lowe to increase that lead from 55 metres. It's a drop punt. Everett misses it, maybe out of bounds. It was touched by the big ruckman though, so it will be thrown in the left forward pocket for St Kilda. Ticking down to half time, and the Saints would love another one here. Can Everett give it to them? He'll be contesting with Mann. Latter trying to get the front position. Taps to the front. Madigan played in Hawthorn's 89 premiership team. Peckett reads it beautifully over the head of Durkay. Shanahan, what's he doing down there? Can he kick a goal? A history-making goal, but no, it hit the post.
He didn't want to kick it, Pete. He wanted to keep his record clean.
He has. That might be as near as he ever gets.
It's his 3rd point for the season. It's a good kick, though. Very sensibly executed. Deserved a goal, really.
It's Harding. Takes the mark from the kick out onto Callaghan. An excellent game so far. Callaghan has had, that's his 15th possession. Now it's just Sinclair running with the ball. Good courage from the young rover. Now Vidovic to Keogh. Quick kick. Straight through the arms of Jones. Now but kick it will recover for him. Clement kicks it wide to Mitchell. 14 possessions for Gavin Mitchell. now for Gale on centre wing, coming off 30 possessions last week against the Tigers. An excellent game. Abraham, good pressure from the Saints. Equally as good a pass from Mark Gale to find Kickett. Running around Aussie Jones, you've got to be quick to beat Aussie Jones, but a poor disposal from Kickett straight down the throat of Vidovic. Quick hands from Keogh under pressure. Daniels out of half-back. The Saints change direction, finding Thompson on centre wing. Now they're away. Thompson kick inside 50, carrying with the breeze. Everett unable to take the mark, spills off his chest, wrapped up by Parker. Umpire Goldsmith says, give it to me and I'll bounce it. Right on the siren at half-time. So a pretty good quarter there from the Saints, considering they kicked the first goal in the first 30 seconds and then struggled with a goal from Wills, and the Dockers have held them probably for the first 20 minutes in that second term, but then the last 10 minutes they got away with
that. It's been given a lot of coverage.
You'd have all these records, Pete, wouldn't you?
Oh, I have got them all, yes. A little scratch now, a bit like me.
And half his outfits from what you got up in at the moment, Peter.
Thank you, Fly. Start telling stories out of school, you can be in all sorts of trouble. You've got more skeletons in the closet.
Oh, there's Nathan Burke.
All right, let's, just before we start, any news on Winmar, John?
Look, the only thing I can tell you, Peter, is he's straight onto the rub-down table, and there are a lot of medical staff talking to him. The doctor's talking to him now, so I suspect that he's not okay, but they're keeping it very, very close to their chest.
Start of the third quarter, Harvey's kick up towards half-forward Harding, nearly a good one-handed mark. Well, he's been paid that or a free kick. Harding to the outer side. Sinclair the target, or the wind beats both he and also Burke. And Latter quick to get back, paddles it away from Jones, or tries to do that. It's out of bounds on centre wing on the outer side. Very important quarter for the Dockers. It's fair to suggest their season might be resting on it. They must beat St Kilda. They're out of the 8 on percentage at the moment. The Saints the opportunity of going to top spot depending on other results if they can win here today. Burton comes up towards half forward. Parker underneath it. Heatley in front. Parker over the top of him. Jones, Harding. Harding tries to draw a man. Finds Clement with the hand pass. Kicks across the ground. Wakeland. Oh, mark free kick 50 metres. Let's see what the umpire says. No. Harvey. Heatley the target. Parker up one-handed. Nearly comes down with the mark, actually. Clement, a little give. Harding on the end of it. Callahan. A bounce. Was limping in the second quarter. Seems okay. Sinclair in front of Lappin has taken the mark just inside the centre square.
He plays on wide. Handballing back to Callahan. This is 18th possession as Hunter overruns the ball. There was a bit of an injury cloud over him just before half-time. Gray does well to Lappin. Lappin under pressure, off the ground, looking for a teammate, but Abraham an opportunity now to put one through. Second bounce, 45 metres slide angle. Has a shot for the big ones, but kicks wide and hooks it for his fourth behind.
3 of them at that end.
Yep.
Yes, well, they force themselves wide unnecessarily so too, the Dockers then, and bring that ball forward, but in the end Abraham was certainly close enough to score the goal.
So the Saints still leading by 11 points. They led by 12 at half-time as the Peckett kick is high, up and under. It's wide. Shanahan gets dragged to the ground and umpire McLaren sees it just as we do and will call a free kick. Jamie Shanahan had a chance to put his first goal through in that second term and hit the post. It was a beautiful kick from the boundary, but luck wasn't his way. Spider Burton swings the ball around with a good handball, looking for Leach, finds him. Leach throws the ball away, just as much as Rod Keogh throws Leach away, but umpire Brett Allen will call it against Keogh. Free kick to Leach.
I think he's done his groin again, or hurt himself in some way, or it's his finger. No, it's his finger.
Did you get a reasonable eye on that one, John?
Yes, I did, Peter, and I think the reason the free kick was paid was because Leach didn't actually take possession of the footy. He was sort of juggling it, and Rod Keogh dragged him to the ground before he'd actually taken the ball.
Yeah, the ball hit him on the fingers there as he was trying to mark. Subsequent dislocation in his left hand, but he gets the kick away. Now Sinclair on his right boot swings around, top of the square, but mark taken in defence by the ever-reliable Rob Harvey.
Harvey, one of the favourites for the Brownlow, kicks towards the member stand flank, beats Jones over the line for a throw-in, tracked over there by Healy. 70 metres from the Dockers goal. They started the first quarter slowly when kicking with the wind, and they've done likewise in this quarter. His finger's been put back into place, and that's a pretty painful procedure. Ever had it done?
It's just part of footy, Pete.
It is. But, still pretty painful. Harvey takes the hand pass from Ziva back to Shanahan. The end at which in the second quarter he nearly got his goal, but it hit the post. Harvey again takes the hand pass. Aussie Jones at left half forward, bends the ball back. Jones's kick only to be marked by Parker in front of big Spider Everett.
Oh, there's a clash of heads there. Stewie Lowe coming into Shepherd, was it? And he's got Greg Harding, and the clash of heads sees them both in a bit of trouble.
They are. They're both down. Callahan busy early in the third quarter, and Kingsley Hunter has taken the mark. Well, he seems to be moving okay, and those two players are both still out.
There's a stretcher on the ground too, so
play should stop. Burton's taken the mark in the meantime in front of Lappin, but the umpire now has seen the stretcher. Burton will have to wait to take his kick. Both Spiders having a good duel. 3 goals by the St Kilda one though. Everett has given him the edge.
Greg Harding, Peter.
Yeah, caught very much unawares by the Shepherd too from Stewie Lowe, who's got one on the scon in the same situation, but he looks as if he might be okay. There's the Shepherd there, just didn't see it coming, Greg Harding.
Had a good season.
He's had a terrific year, Pete, no question. He's a fine player. Been crooked through the week with flu as well. Just didn't see him at all. Just had his eyes on Aussie Jones all the way.
Well, the stretcher goes off, not through the interchange. He's got a bit of a headache. So too is Stewie Lowe, but interestingly, amazingly, no blood.
We're talking Stewie Lowe's head at the moment, Peter. It's reasonably thick.
Speaker Russell Morris.
I'm allowed to say that.
He did cop a heavy one in a match earlier in the year. He had to leave the field with a blood rule.
He's very solid too, about 110 kilos, Stewie Lowe.
Back with Spider Burton, 35 metres out. Oh, that's an absolute Barry. Shocking kick out in front of goal. Oh, Abraham and Sinclair had the chance. It's going to be a ball up.
Pete, you want to explain Barry for the Perth viewers?
Barry Crockett.
Thank you.
I can use his name reasonably well. He's a mad Sydney Swan supporter. Probably watching. Lappin a chance. Durkay missed it. A fumble. Burke, he doesn't fumble. Waterhouse, good tackle. Just a little bit late. Couldn't stop him. Kick out towards centre wing. Callahan again. He's been pretty useful. Busy. Heatley across his body. Down towards right half forward. Parker gets an awkward bounce initially. Finally the hand pass. And on to Jones at left centre wing. Gets a nice old push as he kicks.
Good tackle from Stewie Lowe's, recovered from that bump against Harding. Now Nathan Burke had the opportunity to drive the Saints forward, but his kick went out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, terrific pressure from the St Kilda players there.
And Johnny Russell, we've got an update.
Yeah, Greg Harding's gone straight up the race, very, very groggy and carrying the right shoulder as though there's been a serious injury done to it.
Sure, so let's hope that he's okay. So keep us in touch with that. If you find out any news, we can pass it on to his family in Perth. Make sure he's okay. Spider Everett now has the ball on left half, or right half back for the Saints. Excellent kick. Daniel Healy, now Cripps. It's been good for the Saints, but he's caught that time. Durkay, been very quiet for the Dockers in the first half. Callahan, one of their best, has man out wide over his head, allowing Thompson to try and dance around man. Good tackle, good pressure from the Dockers captain, Rob Harvey.
It's a really free kick back there, Russell, against Peter Mann, who threw Thompson to the ground. He wasn't happy with getting poked in the face.
Man a bit groggy too.
My word, yeah.
So they're all hitting the ground reasonably hard.
As he went to tackle Thompson, he copped one.
There. A bit high. So took it out against Andrew Thompson for that high tackle. So Everett, bit of confusion here so far. Who's going to take the free kick? It'll be Wakelin, Darrell. Peter Mann felt that one in the mouth. As Wakelin's kick looking for Stewie Lowe over the top of his head. Durkay eyes for the ball. Bends his back, unable to grab the ball. Healy with courage under the pack. Now kick it. Very clever work to Durkay. Elusive. Breaks away from his opponent. Kick looks pretty good for Waterhouse. Keeps his feet. Beautiful handball. Straight to Michael Brown. Will run into an open goal. The Dockers, they're first for the term. Excellent work.
Yes, good combination there. Good contest by Waterhouse to actually get there in the first place. He was caught behind but made up the ground with his pace to get there and punch the ball forward. Then his leg speed again allowed him to get through the two St Kilda players. We'll see this again. Makes the contest in front of Daniels in front of him, I should say, and then gave it off to Brown, who's had a pretty quiet day so far. I think that's just his second kick, but a very, very important one for him. The two Swan Districts teammates from the West Star Rules Club.
Man on the road to recovery, Dockers fans hope. And their score looking a little healthier likewise with that goal to Brown, 5-4 to 6-3. The difference is 5 points. Fremantle with the wind in this quarter. The St Kilda kick comes up toward the Saints half-forward line. Low, hacks it up towards the boundary line. Heatley and Parker. Heatley with a ping at the goals. He's put it out of bounds on the full, and the free kick will go to kick it down there. Perhaps in the last line of defence, or it might come back to Parker. Kick it, I think, is going to take it. Pretty good stats so far, 7-7. Now it's Parker. His stats aren't quite that impressive. Gale. This man's Callahan, very busy. He's had 14 and 6. Leach is at centre half back, decides to go for a run. Even the wind takes the ball in the little bounces.
No one's coming at him, putting almost to the centre half forward. No.
Wills the target. Waterhouse. Oh, taken in the back. That'll be a free kick. And I think you'd agree with that, John, would you? Not putting words in your mouth.
Yes, Peter. I mean, it's difficult when the tackler is behind and his momentum carries the player forward, as it did with Waterhouse then, but the umpire really has no option. But when the tackler's from behind and buries him like that, it just has to be paid as a push in the back. Well,
the whole structure of the rules of the game are to protect the player of the ball, and you can't carry them forward, so the free kick's got to be paid.
Clive Waterhouse, distance not a problem, a very tricky wind. He needs to aim for the right post. Wait on the goal umpire here. One behind. Kick by Clive Waterhouse. Gee, that was a bad miss. He set a goal up for Brown only a couple of minutes back, but he should have kicked that one. The difference is back to 4 points, and Peckett will bring the ball back into play. Matty Young.
Yes.
How's it looking against the breeze for the Saints?
Just need to work on it a bit more. I think we tend to be going long and need to chip it around a bit and run in with the breeze.
Justin Peckett, runner-up in the best and fairest a couple of seasons back. Dragged off it as Durkay. Did he have it? Lappin from a hand pass with Shanahan's. Gale. Now Brown. Kicks across the outstretched arms of Ozzie Jones. Daniels. Good effective punch. Good as a mark there. And Daniels gets it out of bounds in the Dockers' left forward pocket. Low scoring game. Goals at a premium, almost with the win. The Saints did better in the second quarter when they kicked 4. The Dockers 3 in the first term. And the margin is 4 points.
Peter Mann and Spider Everett in the ruck. Mann getting the tap down with the right hand, but Robert Harvey, as per usual, picks up the crumbs. But Hunter! Oh, nearly a miraculous kick. Just put it through for a behind. He has 2 goals, 1, Kingsley Hunter. Was doubtful just prior to half-time, had a bit of a leg.
Maybe he's okay, Russell.
Knee problem.
A knee problem, yep.
But Ozzie Jones will be the designated kicker for the Saints. So kicking against a very strong breeze, he needs to keep the ball very low. He elects to kick it high, takes it wide, the punch clear. Matty Lappin has a bit of time to steady. Now to Zilla, puts him under a bit of pressure, but Zilla has time to get his kick up towards centre wing. Keogh and Kickett. Lowe's tackled well by Kickett.
Oh.
Durkay taken high by Rod Keogh, and he will take the free kick. In between centre wing and left half forward for the Dockers, kicking with a decent breeze. They trail by 3 points. As you can see, he's been a pretty quiet half. Excellent game last week. 30 possessions on the wing against the Tigers. McGovern now to Kickett. He's been very busy off half-back, as per usual, for the Dockers vice-captain. Waterhouse, the big flyer. The big punch from Shanahan. Daniels taken high. Calls play on. Waterhouse with a left foot, kicks wide. Out of bounds on the full. The St Kilda supporters not happy about that particular incident.
John Russo, did you get a look at that one?
As we see here. Oh, taken high by, or met high by Leach. But umpire McLaren was closer than us, and he deemed to play on.
Yeah, I would have thought that even if it wasn't intentional, it was still high. It should have been a free kick paid.
Anyway, Andrew Thompson will take the free kick. Right back pocket for the Saints. Big fly by Stewie Lowe across the front of the pack. He's recovered from the clash with Harding. Harding's in the medical room on a stretcher. Whereas Lowe's just nursing a sore head, but Derek Kickett. As Kickett is giving the free kick away to Rod Keogh. His kick, it's high. In front's Heatley. Should have taken that. Mark Parker, the giant killer. Got scalps of Grant and Kernahan in this season, so he's been done very well in that half-back line for the Dockers. Now it's Leach, centre wing, handball over the top. Durkay will run into an open goal, should put this through, but elects to chip it across the goal, trying to open them up for Callaghan, puts him under pressure, strong breeze. High ball from Callaghan, good punch from Shanahan. It's a low-scoring game, it's a 3-point game here at Waverley. The Saints lead as Shanahan's taken high, and he will receive a free kick. Nathan Burke it is. Prior to the Shanahan incident, he will take the free kick, right back pocket for the Saints.
Burke. As the Saints defend desperately against the breeze, doing well so far. Keogh, formerly of Melbourne, where he wore number 31. Made famous, of course, at that club by Ron Barassi. Kick it, which he will do, to Leach. Leach at midfield. Lappert on the mark. Kept at bay by McGovern. A little give to Gale. Wills, who's been very quiet. Thompson's tackle effective. Burke, finger tipper. Zilla, Thompson, grabbed by Wills. Free kick St Kilda.
Yeah, too high paid to Nathan Burke there, Pete.
Thompson gives the ball back to him. So Burke centres it. Aussie Jones out wide. Almost loses some ground, but when you've got a guy like that on the end of it, who cares? Harvey. Pickett. Back to the champ. Kick could have been a little bit better. Nearly hit Heatley in the face. Parker tries to spin out of trouble. Over the head of McGovern. Pickett has a ping at the scoring area. The St Kilda mark is down there.
Is that Lappin?
Yeah.
It is.
Just better judgment then.
He kicked one off the ground at the other end, and he's got a chance into the wind here. Now, this is no certainty.
Yes, I think Robert Harvey will be just breathing a sigh of relief here. We see that again. Burton in front, Posey, but the ball just going over his head. Breeze just causing a bit of a problem there. Great mark by Lappin. But Harvey's second kick to a leading player, not good, and it looks like they might have turned it over.
Lappin from 20 metres out, and he squeezed it in for a goal. Just.
Good result for St Kilda against this tough breeze with Lappin's first, as he's second, as Pete mentioned.
Yeah, that squares off the goal to Michael Brown that the Dockers scored early in the quarter, so it's a good, I think Stan Ellis will be reasonably happy so far that they haven't allowed the Dockers to score 3 or 4 goals. And here we see it again, just that the judgment thing with the breeze again. Ball not holding up as much as it was. Good mark by Lappin.
Well, the lead back to 9 points. The Saints led by 12 at half-time. A third quarter goal by Michael Brown and a third quarter goal for Matty Lappin for the Saints. As Rob Harvey is now starting to dominate this game. Started off very quietly, but now racking the possessions up. Zilla has been good for the Saints. Under the packs, Low, holding his ground, handballing, the punch going to Heatley. And the Saints forwards wrapping Shane Parker up in the tackle. So just under 9 minutes remaining in this third term. Still a very tough breeze as Nicky Winmar.
He was actually hobbling when the other players warmed up about 5 minutes ago. Russ, he was actually 5 or 10 minutes behind them and hobbling a bit.
Well, I'm sure
he's obviously a problem.
His folks Merrill and Neil Senior will be concerned about that he's okay watching today over in Perth. Jess Sinclair has a bit of time to steady onto his right boot. Just short of centre wing. Looking for the leading Hunter. Good punch from Shanahan. Excellent work from the Saints big man. Getting a round of applause for the St Kilda supporters. Right in front of the members' stand, centre wing. 8 minutes remaining third term, Saints by 9 points.
Bounce at that location. Burrows, number 33. Lazar Vidovic. Aussie Jones over the boundary line. Well, Winston Abraham went in pretty solidly. No, he collected his teammate Sinclair in the end. Aussie Jones is going to get a free kick. Talking footy on Monday on the road in Adelaide. Malcolm Blight, our special guest. The kick up towards half forward. Oh, the big arms go out of buckets. Stewie Lowe. Centering kick from him. Badly delivered. Gary Durkay on the end of it in front of Peckett. Kick it. One of the Dockers' best this afternoon. Just needs to sit for him nicely, and it does. Gets on his bike. Mann provides the shepherd. Goes inboard, short, or kicks to a contest. Saints had the numbers. Good tackle by Callaghan. Peckett again. Tries to get past Mitchell. Pinned. Gale. Vidovic kicks to the boundary line, and that's effective. That was as good as he could have done from there.
Yeah, terrific pressure by the Dockers forwards there, but I just suggest that Dale Kickett probably could have done something a little better with that use of the ball.
Well, he's getting plenty of it. He had 10 and 7. Throw in just inside 50. Dockers right half forward flank. Vidovic tries for Aussie Jones, ultimately finds him. Jones back over his head. It's out of bounds again, almost in the same spot, perhaps a few metres further around the boundary line. Modelled his game on Harvey. He could do worse than that. And Aussie Jones, star in the making. Vidovic taps down, past Wills. Shanahan missed it. Picked up by Winston Abraham, and that is a free kick to the Dockers.
Too high.
As he kicked it, Pete, so he comes and he gets the free kick again from when he kicked it.
Right in front of you, John Russo, almost, I think, that one.
Yeah, as Roscoe called it, tackled high as he kicked the ball, so the free kick is taken where he disposed of it initially.
Winston Abraham's kicked 4 behind so far. He won't score with that kick. Now the man in front should be played there, and that's Daniels. Waterhouse has got the footy, but it's not his mark. Daniels to Burke. Burke from the left back pocket for St Kilda. Good kick against the breeze. And that's an even better mark taken by Clement right on the boundary line, and he will be paid by the umpire. Now he gets the call to play on. He's out of bounds.
That's right.
Now it will be out of bounds. So if you play on over the line, John, you're in trouble.
No, that's not the case, Peter. If he plays on inboard, it's okay. And in that case, he played on inboard. Darren Goldspink called play on, but then he deviated and went back between the man on the mark and the fence. Once he goes back that way, the boundary umpire will blow it out of bounds and it'll be thrown in, as we can now see.
Well, we'll get him a Melways and he should be okay.
In between centre wing and half forward for the Dockers. Stewie Lowe, the left hand, palms it down to Nathan Burke, who's under the pack, burrowing under the pack.
Oh!
As it gets a bit rough and tumble, James Clement in there, and Nathan Burke, as the pack forms. The Saints out to protect the little rover, and the Dockers out to protect Clement.
Yes, Clement just got a little bit frustrated in there, let's put it that way.
Jamie Shanahan directing traffic. Trying to hold out Hunter.
That's a good police from Wood.
There's a dump by Darren Goldspink. Bounce to the ball, the tap out from Peter Mann. Stewie Lowe with strength, Aussie Jones with poise, taps it on, gaining valuable metres for the Saints. Peckett, clever, keeps his feet, finds Burke, who's under pressure and held without the ball, but kept his eyes on it. A sign of a good rover, as Nathan Burke is. He's a champion rover, twice best and fairest for the Saints, and a big chance to win it this year. Aussie Jones, he's a chance also for the St Kilda side. Everett, who was looking for it. Matty Lappin across the front of the pack, just couldn't hold it long enough. It's causing a few problems for the Dockers up forward there, Ross, especially against this breeze.
I agree with that.
Matty Lappin, number 22, young kid from Chiltern. Struggled early, been at the St Kilda club for about 3 or 4 years, but now playing in his 35th game. Heatley, ball held to him by Parker. So the ball's going nowhere. It's in the St Kilda forward line at this stage. There's 5 minutes remaining in this third term. The Saints by 9 points. Pretty tough encounter, not a lot of scoring as you can see. Strong wind blowing the Dockers end. And if the St Kilda side can get another one here, it'll be a major bonus, with Cripps showing strength from 50. Now drives it up forward. The wind takes it enormously to the right. Spider Everett in front, trying to trap the ball, kick it, and Heatley traps it underneath the kicker tackle, scoops it out. Now Jones caught, throws it on the boot. Zilla with strength, close to the line, driving the Saints into attack. The call is play on from the umpire because it only went about 5 metres as Quentin Leach He's ruffled by Jason Heatley up in the Saints forward line. Quentin Leach dislocated his finger earlier in the quarter and seems to be okay.
It's a bounce, not too far out from the Saints goal. Lowe and Burrows. One by Lowe, kick by Jones. Over the head of Peckett, the bounce, a fickle one. Peckett provides a Shepherd. Cripps. Oh, that could be 50 metres. The umpire calling play on the advantage. Lappin, Heatley, Kickett's got him. Kickett comes up with a football, well done. Wills, kicks have been scarce for the former Cat here today. Kingsley Hunter a long way from goal, chasing kicks. Mann was in there, but knocked away by Wakeland. Shanahan, intended for Brown, pinched by Durkay, and Gary Durkay does well. He can kick the proverbial country mile. He won't this time. He's gone short, looks for Kingsley Hunter. Ball needs to sit for him, it does. 30 metres out, he goes at goal. The Breeze carries it back, but only for one behind, and they really did need that, the Dockers. Hunter has kicked 2 goals too this afternoon, 7-3 to 5-7. The scoreline would suggest they're not out of it, but they go against the Breeze in the final quarter, the Dockers, and they still trail by 8 points.
Kingsley Hunter, 2 goals at the bench. It's Greg Madigan, former teammate of mine. His wife Donna, expecting twins over in Perth. I'm sure she's watching with interest. There's Robert Harvey, the customary bending over at the hips there. Oh, it looks as though he's just out of puff, but then will sprint off another 100 metres at full pace. But the kick, looking for Daniels, finds him with Waterhouse claiming the mark from behind. But
second time he's done that,
you realise that the way football is played, you've got to punch from behind, and if you're going to mark it, you've got to be in front. It's Cripps, an excellent player for the Saints since coming off the bench in the first term. Puts Vidovic under a bit of pressure. Vidovic handball, looking for Jones. Elects to punch it on. Burrows, playing his first match for a few years for the Dockers, trundles the ball over the line. Centre wing. Just 2.5 minutes remaining in the third term. And a good result so far for St Kilda in this third quarter. There's Neil Elvis Winmar looking on, maybe having a slight leg injury, not too sure. Calf or hamstring, maybe a thigh.
Covered just about everything there, Russell.
Yeah, well, we've got to try someone. As John Russo mentioned, that he was being worked on the massage table by the trainer, so you might be able to find out something a bit more from Matty Young, but I know he doesn't want to talk out of school. As Aussie Jones's kick, looking for Lowe, gets away from Clement, poor bounce. Now Andrew Wills gets a handball away. Now up in the back line, Wills struggling for possessions. Leach has been pretty good. This man Callahan, now the running Wills coming out from the back line, has a look around the flying egg from the Dockers. Tries to bring Hunter into the play, not a very good handball, puts him under pressure. Nathan Burke will hammer Hunter, and he does, and runs the ball away out of half-back for the Saints.
There wasn't a good hand pass from Wills, and Harvey traps it just inside the boundary line. Gets rid of Callahan and the footy. Wills on Harvey. It is out of bounds on centre wing. And the Saints fans loud in their applause of that passage of play. And Robert Harvey's stats again impressive. Certainly doing his Brownlow hopes no harm at all. Burrows and Big Lazar with a big 2 Wills. He applies a tackle on Harvey. That's ineffective. It will be a ball up. Still on centre wing, and only a minute and a half remaining in the third quarter. And you probably think from here the Dockers haven't done enough, but this wind is very, very tricky. It's hard to read. We said at the beginning of the day it wasn't going to be a high-scoring affair. That's turned out to be the case. Jared Neesham, well, he doesn't look a happy man, does he, at the moment? Burrows and Mann. Burrows and Vidovic out of bounds again. All helping the Saints.
Andrew Wills, Peter's taken Robert Harvey, so he's following him around the ground.
Burrows in front. Vidovic from behind. Keogh, again happy to see it over the boundary line. Doesn't chew up time while it's out of bounds, but in that area, well, St Kilda will be more than happy. Again a throw in. Vidovic in front of Burrows. Ball drops short. Get in front, and he did. Kick comes up by Callahan. Shanahan sees it safely over the line again. Well, this is just not good enough from the Dockers. They want a couple of goals before three-quarter time, and they don't look like getting them. Probably settle for one if they can get it here. This is really their last throw of the dice. Stan Elves already down on the boundary line. Wills, as Russell said, tracking Harvey. Callahan again, and that's okay because Madigan has taken the mark. About 45 metres out from goal. What's his kicking like, Russ? You said you played with him.
Yeah,
Hawthorn.
well, they should kick this through, although the wind is very difficult.
Now, isn't he? Got that,
yeah, he hasn't kicked a lot of goals in his career, but it's not beyond him.
Just look at the stats too. Freo inside their 50, 42. St Kilda 34, so not taking advantage of that.
Madigan's kick off target, and only one behind.
He looked like a player that kicked it with not a lot of confidence, Ross. It was sort of just a couple of steps and just a chip kick instead of driving his leg through it. Stan Elves, he doesn't need a runner. He's directing traffic from the boundary. A la Ray Jordan in the old days on the boundary. The former North Melbourne under-19 coach.
Language might be a tad better.
Yeah.
But it's funny, the coaches, if they come down now, Peter, they've got to stand in a little white box on the grass, so they're not allowed to move away from that particular area. So as Justin Peckett plays on from that kick out, the high fly was Wakeland, couldn't take the mark. Vidovic the same. Now Mitchell trying to be clever to Wills. Taken, his legs were taken out from under him. Back to Mitchell, conceding ground, 10 metres. Back to McGovern. The Dockers set it up. Burrows from 60 metres.
Might be the last kick of the quarter.
And only if he'd known, he may have had a chance to put the big torp through as Stan Elves, who was barking orders, not real happy. But considering what the score...
Okay, well, we'll keep trying to keep warm, and you blokes enjoy the coffee and the scones.
Thanks, Jack. Just ask Matty, is he cold? He looks like he's shivering.
I am freezing.
Oh, you get paid a fortune for doing this afternoon, Matty.
Oh, thanks very much.
An important quarter for both sides. The Saints could be top of the ladder at the end of the round, depending on other results. The Dockers percentage out of the 8. They're going against the breeze in the final quarter, but less than 2 kicks down. Spider Burton taps it forward. Chance for them now to drive it away. Kick by Callahan, who's been one of their best. A hand pass from Gale. It comes out to the boundary line. Burke will see it over. More than content with that result, and it will be thrown in about 70 metres from the Dockers goal at left half forward.
Pete, Dockers haven't won a centre break since quarter time. It's 12-3 in total, so just struggling to get the ball out of the middle.
In that quarter, that first quarter, Burton did well. Vidovic here lets it go. Over the back is Brown. Brown across his body. Kicks towards midfield. No mark taken there in the difficult conditions. Lowe taps it further forward. Lappin gets a second chance. Was held, was he? The umpire says no, play on. Kick ultimately comes up towards the 50-metre line. Clement got taken high. It will be a Dockers free kick, and Clement will take it at the centre half back position. James Clement. He'll probably go short. Looking for options. Well, the umpire tells him to keep going, and he does, and he goes long. Poor Madigan. Want to cop one high. Sinclair went through without the ball. Brown's hand pass. On to Harvey. Good Shepherd enables him to kick up towards full forward. Oh, Everett got a decent old push in the back from Jones, who scuttles the ball down towards a teammate in Leach. Gale in the left back pocket should be able to, and does clear for the Dockers.
Gale's kick looking for Spider Burton, running with the flight of the ball. Call his play on, he didn't take the mark one by Goldsmith, but didn't deem it held long enough as Troy Gray in the pack, now kick it. He's been busy for the Dockers off half back. Lappin and Lowe trying to push the ball forward. Parker this time gets his kick. It's very high, but running with the flight again. Nathan Burke shows Spider Burton how it's done. On centre wing, plays on quickly, brushes away Mitchell. The kick inboard, straight on the chest of Gray. I'm sure Berkey will claim that as a pass. Gray's kick is long, looking for Spider. Everett in front. Can't mark. Well rowed by Jones. Back to Keogh on the right foot. Not a very good kick. Looking for Cripps under pressure. Well done, Jason Cripps. 50 metres. Put this one through. You're a hero, son. It's a great goal. Fantastic stuff.
That's a very good goal, Russ. I agree with you. Good strong stuff too in that pack there. Rod Kerr trying to get the ball back towards Everett. on his non-preferred right foot. Just see this again, and it just goes to the right and pushed away further by the breeze, and then Cripps just breaking the tackle of Anthony Jones. There's a deliberate shot at goal, straight through the middle. Perfect kick, well played.
Cripps got the goal. It's a big margin now, and as he kicked, you can see the goalposts rocking. They still are. He didn't hit them, but the wind is as fierce as it's ever been. Brown. On to Aussie Jones. The youngsters combining well. Down towards full forward again. Heatley and Clement. Clement scoops it out. Oh, kicker had to stand his ground. Lappin, up and under kick. The wind taking it towards goal. Jones and Everett. Was it touched? It was, according to the goal umpire. Wouldn't have been much in it.
Just a sigh of relief from Anthony Jones there, I think.
McGovern to bring the ball back into play. Saints bombarding the goal at the moment. And the Dockers' finals hopes might be petering out. McGovern kicks to himself and then goes to the outer side.
His kick is a chip, looking for the high-flying egg, and Andrew Wills, but went up before acceptances, and Stewie Lowe was too big. Takes the big mitts around the Sharon. His kick up towards the front of the square. Everett and Jones. Now it's the St Kilda forwards. Excellent work from Callaghan, running away from Matty Lappin, finding the solace of the boundary line.
21 kicks to Callaghan and 7 hand passes.
Been an excellent contributor for the Dockers. Across the midfield, up the back line and the forward line. So all around the ground here at Waverley, it's a huge expanse. So he's done an excellent job for the Dockers. Stewie Lowe, the two-hand tap, looking for Burke, but spied Burton, the better athlete. Wills, unable to grab it, tackles Lowe over the top of the ball. Lowe scoops it out. Nathan Burke looking for Rob Harvey, the 1-2. Harvey's kick up towards the top of the square again, looking for Everett. Front position, punch from Jones is a good one. Now it's Brown onto his left foot, again centering the ball. Good work from the St Kilda midfielder, but Shane Parker, the better defender, plays on quickly. Off to now Jones, who's had plenty of time, has a look around, tucks the ball under the arm, a couple of bounces. Gale will shepherd for him. Now Gale is brought into the game from a poor handball from Jones. Left foot pass from Gale is a good one, finding the leading Peter Mann in front of Wakeland on the left half forward for the Dockers. He plays on quickly. Umpire Allen calls it. Mann is forced to kick and rushed, allowing Lazovic off half back. Plays on quickly to Burke. The Saints have got a bit of a run on. There's a bit of a feeling they've kicked a quick goal. They want more. It's a strong breeze. Shanahan takes advantage of that. But excellent mark in defence for Brown off half-back.
Brown, quick hand pass. Dockers know time is the enemy at the moment. Leach's kick marked by Durkay. Durkay on centre wing. Peckett on the mark. Gary Durkay. One of the longest kicks on the side, looking for options. One of those is to go short where he finds Leach. Peckett chases. Lazar Vidovic again. Tony Brown has a look over his shoulder, almost cheekily. Kick lands, plenty of Dockers are. Madigan, the former Hawk. Sinclair, marking in front of, yes it is Heatley, I had to look twice. Former Victorian, came from the Eastern Ranges and East Ringwood. Now Kickett, who's got plenty of the football today, but his disposal has let him down. Parker confronted. Harvey off the ground, like Jimmy Stones' Gaelic skills, and he's still got it. Oh, brilliantly played. Harvey's kick to left half forward. Jones leads out in front of Spider Everett and takes the mark. Chip shot up towards half back. Mitchell around Lappin. Parker measures the kick. Dockers desperately need a goal. Callaghan, kick number 22. Oh, he's lost it. Maybe still be able to get a disposal away. Peckett. Oh, that's an equally bad hand pass. Waterhouse into goal. 15 metres out and closing. He kicks and he's got the goal.
That's how you make the opposition play with a mistake there. St Kilda making the mistake across half back there. They held up Callaghan's kick there. Good smother, I think maybe by Daniels. Then the tackle And then Peckett just gave the ball away, looking for Aussie Jones. The handball went right over his teammate's head into the path of Waterhouse, who could stroll right into an open goal.
Now we have Justin Peckett holding his jaw. 8 points the difference with that Clive Waterhouse goal. Much needed one from the Dockers against the breeze. Nathan Burke's wrapped up in the centre of the ground. 1 goal apiece in this final term. Still a very strong breeze, but I think it may be swirling across the ground.
This bit makes good footy impossible, doesn't it?
Very difficult. Umpire McLaren bounces the ball, centre of the ground. Vidovic, the big punch, the big left hand over the top. Cripps, one of St Kilda's best, kicked a beautiful goal earlier in this term. It's wrapped up by Gale, number 37 there for the Dockers. Mark Gale, former Claremont, 27 possessions last week against Richmond. Very good player, fitted in well with the Dockers on his half back line. Vidovic unable to get the knock away due to good opposition from Brown. Kick is knocked on by Sinclair. Now Durkay in the centre of the ground looking for Wills. Just a little tap interception from Vidovic.
Wills caught one.
Excellent work from Big Laser. The big punch over the top. Peckett showing some strength and courage. Harvey, cleverness and great vision, finding Thompson on the run through half forward. His long kick will land in the square or over the top. A great goal to Andrew Thompson. Great stuff for the Saints. Geez, just when Fremantle looked as though they were coming back, the Saints.
Yeah, that's the one that Fremantle wouldn't wanted St Kilda to get at this stage of the game. They'll just get themselves a little bit closer and be able to hold them up. Saints, that is.
Good work from Vidovic in the middle. He
I thought he played very well last week too when he came on the ground against Sydney. And
Wills and Durkay down there injured.
They're okay at the moment, I think, Pete. Good long goal by Thompson, though. Terrific kick.
Just the goal that Fremantle didn't want, the difference back to 14 points, but plenty of time for the Dockers if they're good enough. But against the breeze, it's a pretty tall order. Vidovic again, so Big Lazar doing well. Callahan on the right foot to half forward. Peckett in front of Durkay. Now Abraham a chance. Jones with him. And well played by the Docker. Beautifully done, Winston. He's kicked 4 behind. He won't score from there. 2 kicks at goal from there. Shanahan. Across to Harvey. They share it around. Daniels in the back pocket. Burke, arguably best on ground. Burke's kick, towering punt kick. Brown couldn't complete the mark. Man who kicked the last goal, what can he do here? Thompson, he's got another one! The game is safe, you would think now.
What a great kick.
As you would say, Russ, a facsimile. Yes, an exact replica of the previous one. And Michael Brown, I'd suggest, whilst he hasn't played much senior football, at AFL level I should say, should really have held this mark. No contest there at all from another player. Could almost have taken on his chest. He wasn't to know that initially, but on replay you'll see that. Right, gee, Thompson makes him really play, doesn't he?
2 excellent goals from youngster Andrew Thompson on the run from identical positions, wearing the number 29, the famous number that Russell Green wore for over 150 games at St Kilda in the 80s. A magnificent effort from Thompson, putting the Saints maybe out of reach of the Dockers, kicking with this strong breeze as it's wrapped up on the half forward line by Matty Lappin and also Derek Kickett for the Dockers. Dale Kickett, sorry. Derek, the former Swan Mercurial champion who retired at the end of the season. Stewie Lowe get the favourable bounce to Burke. Just gets a little tap kick with his knee, if you like, under the tackle of Wills. Identical position, 11 minutes remaining in the match. It's the Saints by 20 points. Umpire Allen. Madigan over the top of Lowe, gets the tap down to Wills, onto his left foot. Under pressure. Clean bowled, a lot of them. Frankie Peckett, Justin Peckett from St Kilda, number 1, dancing around, avoiding the tackle of Abraham. Now can steady into the centre of the ground. He's got a couple of players. One of those is Vidovic on the run. Big laser, throws it on the boot with the big torpedo. Goal square over the top. It's touched by Jones. 1 behind for the St Kilda side. 21 points, 10.5 minutes in the term.
So virtually halfway through the last quarter, McGovern, his stats today, has been pretty good. 10-1, but he's had a lot of the football. Kicks it to himself again. A doer defender. Well, that's a mark. Same spot. Can he kick another goal? Thompson. Maybe just a little bit too far out. Realises that. Low his target, and Low has the mark.
James Clement saying he touched it on the way through, but difficult for the umpire to assess that. And Stuart Lowe gets his chance now to kick his first goal for the game. Averaging 8 marks a game, Stewie Lowe, so that's his 5th for today. Leads the competition, the 156 grabs for the year thus far.
43 goals for the year. Won the club's goal kicking in 95. Best and fairest in 1990, and he's been 4 times runner-up. That looks pretty good. Lowe has kicked his first.
Yeah, Pete, you'd have to suggest the way the games flow that would make it very difficult now for the Dockers to get back in. 27 points. It's the biggest margin for the game. And I would suggest that they have struggled a bit going forward against the Breeze, the Dockers, so this will make it pretty tough.
Nicky Winmar on the bench. Nicky Winmar on the bench, just pondering a victory for the Saints. It's 11-5 to 6-8. So it's a good lead, 27 points by the St Kilda side. Only led by 7 points at three-quarter time. The Nathan Burke tackle just showing what the St Kilda side are made of in this final term. Now it's the Dockers are away with Gale. He's wrapped up by Tony Brown. Back to the centre of the ground, Callaghan, probably their best for the Dockers. Been very busy, hasn't stopped trying. It's all St Kilda. Peckett on his left boot will kick it wide. But Tony Brown and Aussie Jones with pace. Greg Madigan and kick it. Dale, the vice captain for the Dockers. So Aussie Jones will be pretty happy. He's had an excellent game, along with Robert Harvey, Jason Cripps, Nathan Burke. Dale Kickett's probably been one of their best. A lot of the ball, as Peter mentioned, his disposal has been indifferent. 20 possessions, 4 marks and 5 tackles. Dale Kickett never stops trying in the clinches. Ball bounce for Stewie Lowe again. Kickett is the man of the moment. It's a better handball over the top to Wills, who's been quiet. Has a look around, a couple of bounces, with plenty of space, can run up towards 50, close to the boundary line. Now kicking against a strong breeze as the ball is held up. And Parker, down from centre half back, makes a meal of it. Stewie Lowe throwing his body into packs, takes a Docker and a nice hip and shoulder. That's Winston Abraham. The air was knocked out of him.
Was it what?
It's a beauty. With his arm, well, probably didn't catch the full brunt of it, but Mark Gale, Greg Harding certainly did in the earlier in the match. He was carried off with a stretcher as their head clash. As the ball's pushed forward, Rob Harvey, 3-1 for the Brownlow. We can get him at this stage. Equal leader, equal favourite with Nathan Buckley. Off the ground by Sinclair. Zilla on half-back, forced to kick quickly, close to the line. And a mark or out of bounds, it doesn't matter. Peter Mann will take the kick.
Peter Mann, only his 6th kick of the day. Sinclair. Wills provides the shepherd. Kicks out in front of goal. And Waterhouse, this time playing in front, has taken the mark. A couple of times he's been caught behind trying to mark when he should have punched. But that time in front has taken a good grab. He's already kicked 1 goal in this quarter. From a little bit closer in.
I think he's getting a lot more confidence with his overhead and marking in general too, Peter. He took a few last week, those 4 goals. Just trying to make his performances more consistent week by week.
Well, a very difficult shot, even though he's directly in front. 17 goals now for the year. Gives it a chance. Now the wind taking it right away. Out of bounds. No, it's 1 behind. 1 goal 2 to Clive Waterhouse today. 6-9 to 11-5. Under 8 minutes left in the match. Almost an impossible task now for the Dockers. Justin Peckett busy back pocket player. Pickett's kick to the half back line, lapping the target, punched away by McGovern. Sinclair, kick it inside the square, gives it to Man in trouble. Waitland's got him, back to kick it, needs a good shepherd, kicks from outside 50, goes in short, and that's okay because Hunter has taken the mark. Kingsley Hunter got a couple of goals early, appeared to get injured in the second quarter, hasn't really had an influence on the game. 2 goals, 2 against his name. And from there, almost an impossible shot at goal, even though it's directly in front. The mark has been taken down there by Brown. It's a fearsome customer, isn't it? To give the Dockers any hope, he must kick this. Under 7 minutes left. But no gimme. Needs to aim for the left goal post. 35 metres out, the wind's got it, away it goes, and one behind only. So it's difficult.
That's definitely a tough kick at that end, Ross.
Yeah, one of those ones, that's right, where you very difficult to get your accuracy from there.
And Matty Young, we thank you for your contribution this afternoon. We'll let you go and get warm, Matt.
Yes, I think so. It's been freezing down here today, but thanks very much for having me.
When do you come back? Just quickly.
Hopefully next week I'll be back.
Go on, you mate, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, kick out over the top of the pack and allowing Peter Mann to shark it off that and drive it into the 50-metre line, but Waterhouse over the top with an excellent grab. Flying from behind, but the better judgment, his quick kick. Now to Abraham, in the goal square, Hunter, quick goal, Dockers are still in it. Good work, good moving of the ball from Callaghan.
It shows why he's such an important player for them. Just his work rate's been outstanding, and lots of little things he does do as well, not only just those stats we see. Grabbed then again by Waterhouse, just on his non-preferred left. A bit of a scratchy old kick, and Mitchell just running over the top.
Callaghan's work rate terrific. 23 kicks he's had now, 23 and 7. Hunter getting his 3rd goal. So the Dockers live in hope. They need to get them quickly. Burke hacks it out of fresh air towards half forward. Wills from Harvey. He was being held. The free kick and the advantage. Still Wills, who has the job on Harvey. Now Callaghan again. Can they get another one, the Dockers? Callaghan, he kicks and he may have goaled. He has. 2 quick goals against the wind.
Yeah, it's a clever thinking too by Callaghan. Good driving work by Wills too, coming off that half-back flank, opposed to Robert Harvey, who's having a quick spell, one of the very few he has in a game. And Callaghan received the handball, which looks as if it might have been too long, but he controlled it very, very well. And then the kick was clever, just low trajectory to try and avoid that breeze. A bit of pace on it and just beat the diving St Kilda player.
Well, 2 quick goals in 2 minutes. Put the Dockers back in, especially against the wind. One to Hunter, one to Callaghan, but Callaghan featuring in both. It's Michael Brown in the ruck. Vidovic gets the left hand and now the left foot. Landing straight in the lap of Kickett, can't mark. Wrapped up by Wakeland. Good tackle. Parker under pressure now to McGovern. Hasn't made many mistakes in that back line for the Dockers. Gale looking steady on the half-back. Left half-back it is. Clock ticking down, 5.5 minutes remaining in the game. As Gale now has the running Jones, trying to draw the player. He's good shepherding work on Thompson. Now the left foot kick, wide. Madigan can't mark. Burke is clever. Taps it out of his hands, giving away 10 or 15 centimetres. As Nathan Burke is co-captain of the St Kilda side, revving up his teammates.
19 kicks for he, 19 kicks for Harvey.
So the 2 on-ballers not letting the Saints down. Big punch from Vidovic again. He's been excellent so far. Alves played him loose in that half-back line, but now he's back in the ruck as Wakeland is driven into the turf. So is Wills. Pack forms. Gale trying to be clever, but good smother from Thompson, who's kicked 2 beautiful goals in his final term. Andrew Thompson, number 29. Wakeland on the bottom of the pack. Spent a lot of time on the bench. So it'll be a bounce on centre wing. The Saints desperate to hang on. They're 14 points in the lead. They're led by 7 points at 3/4 time. as Wills, a quick kick, about 10 metres. Durkay does well, drags the ball under the pack, so does Nathan Burke. On top of him is Wills, so the St Kilda side trying to slow the game down. Just over 4 minutes remaining. 13-point margin.
Dockers get another one, it'll be interesting. They need one now though, Russ. Ball back towards centre wing. Keogh and Madigan, the two number 17s. And Keogh taking it over the line for a throw it on centre wing. Formerly of Melbourne, Rod Keogh played 22 games there. Vidovic and Mann, the two number 9s. Lazar's hand pass intercepted by Callaghan. Probably the Dockers' best player in their outing this afternoon at Waverley. Mitchell was up high, might have given away a free kick. The recipient is going to be Zilla. He'll give it to Peckett. Peckett from right half back to Harvey. Who else at midfield? Robert Harvey clear of Wills. Kick could have been better. Wakeland's there. Clement. Oh, bad hand pass. Put his teammate Leach under plenty of pressure. Cripps. Thought about the hand pass. Goes longer with the kick. Only to see it into the arms of Brown. Brown in the right back pocket. A goal kicker today for the Dockers. A couple of bounces out of defence. Good shepherd by Kickett. Still Brown. The umpire says play on, and he's lost it. Harvey's got him. His namesake there, Brown intercepted. Now it's Aussie Jones. Around Sinclair. Lappin in front. Couldn't complete the mark. Sinclair gets another chance. Brown this time provides a shepherd. They've got to kick it long. The time is running out. Vidovic in front. Oh, nice shepherd there. Enabled him to take that mark, laconically almost, to half forward. And Jones steps out from fullback to take the mark at a long hand pass.
Lays on quickly through the centre of the ground. The running Parker being chased down by the St Kilda players, but they're not quick enough. The Dockers do this well. They run it out of defence beautifully. Can they get another score? Daniels under pressure. Waterhouse, the cleverer, off the ground. Waterhouse, it's a goal.
That puts some life back in it, Russell, doesn't it?
It does.
Oh. Up to 7 points, I think it is.
Well, they've got 2.5 minutes to get 2 scores for a draw, or 2 goals for a win. I mean, it's not impossible. You wouldn't back them, but a good fight back. You've got to hand it to them against the Breeze. They've taken on the task well, haven't they, Ross?
Yes, they have. And again, his pace is important here, just to put the pressure on, just get Daniels out of the way, and his soccer skills coming to the fore.
When Thompson got those 2 goals, the game looked all but over. Full credit to the Dockers. They've fought it right out. Harvey, can he give the Saints something and make it safe now? Kicks towards half forward, a marking contest. None can bring it down. Jones to Madigan, former Hawke Premiership player. Madigan from left half back, a mongrel punt up to Wills, confronted by Burke. He goes back for the kick. Runs it out quickly. Wills confronted, kicks long against the Breeze. The ball drops. Waterhouse on the burst, can't complete it. Wakeland was there. The ball paddled further forward. Cripps tried to get it to a teammate, and the Saints will come in to tie it up on centre wing.
One thing they do, Ross, is very well. They run it out of that half back line very well.
Yes, this is Dale Kickett just going over and just pinging his shoulder a bit, but he's okay, or his collarbone.
Everett off, and the Saints make a change.
Troy Gray's on.
Gray back on. And St Kilda will be desperate here to again tie it up and not give the Dockers a sniff. Maybe they've got a sniff, but they've got to get 2 scores to level the match. They trail by 7 points.
It's on centre wing. Dead in the middle of the Coca-Cola logo. The bounce goes the Dockers' way, but Peckett running with the ball, the flight of the ball, gets it out to Burke. He sends it 50 metres down the town. Stewie Lowe makes a meal of it. So does Madigan. Good punch on from Keogh. Valuable 10 metres. It's good work from Rod Keogh. His first game back for the season. Stewie Lowe, I don't know, couldn't have lost it in the sun because there isn't any. It should have marked that. 7 points, and we're counting down. Lowe and Parker, the strength of Lowe out-bustling Parker. Cripps has been tough at the ball. Been a very good player for the Saints today.
Well, they should be able to hang on from here.
Cripps is 9 and 9, 3 marks and 2 tackles. So umpire Goldspink bounces it on the 50-metre line. St Kilda right half forward. Lowe gets it down to Keogh. They're quite happy to let the clock tick down. There's no time on under these circumstances. The umpire will just continue to bounce it. 2 metres closer to the St Kilda goal. Madigan with a good left hand. Now Harvey.
Oh.
Kick looks pretty good. It's over the line. That is the sealer. That's the end of the show.
I guess appropriately, kick by Robert Harvey. One of the best on the ground with Nathan Burke.
Yeah, I agree with you, Pete. 22 and 9 is an outstanding effort in these conditions, and I think he's used the ball pretty well today too. And
That's using the wind there with that kick.
That's clever, just to set that up, give it plenty of air, let the breeze do the rest. From a standing start too, he's not renowned for distance with his kicking. Well done, Robert Harvey. All class there.
So the Saints making the game safe through their champ, Robert Harvey. It comes back to the centre with only seconds remaining. Brown out of the middle again for the Sainters. He kicks to Stewie Lowe, nearly couldn't take the mark. There's the siren, and the Saints have emerged victorious under the most difficult of conditions, winning 12-5-77, defeating a very game Fremantle side 9-10-64.
Yeah, they were pretty game, Pete, in that last quarter when things seemed to be lost, and went out to a 27-point margin at one stage there for the Saints, and they really looked as if they had the game under control. But then Clive Waterhouse with his couple of